All right, we're going to try to help you guys out a little bit with the laces because that seems to be another difficult portion. So if we look at the front of the shoe, we'll notice that the laces portion has a shape like this. That's this shape right here. And then we know where the holes are for the shoe, and we can even count them so we know that we have the right number. Each one is going to be the same distance apart, and you can see if your box is the right angle by using your pencil to measure corner to corner. Now, the bottom one is a bar lace, which means it just goes across. And you can just draw the two lines, but remember as the two lines go across, they're going to have to get smaller to get into this hole. So you can change these parts into triangles and round the end and fill in the hole. The second part of that is that they just basically go across. But make sure you have it going into that hole. The second part is that it really is just an X, and you can sketch out the X's if you're going to be doing this style of lacing. You can also sketch out the bars if you're doing it straight across, depending on your shoe. And remember, they overlap, so make it simple. Draw the two X's, erase the one that goes over top. But the big part is as they come into the holes, they have to change a little bit. So this one changes and curves in and goes in like this. This one, see what that does, goes underneath. So you can erase that all together because the next lace is going to actually cover that up. And it kind of ends in here and then goes down into a quick triangle, which you have a hard time seeing because of the shadow. But what happens is as it goes into each hole, it has to curve down into that hole. And it has to get small enough to fit. So make sure that you try to do that. And it always goes past the line into the hole. A lot of times we just end it beforehand, which is not going to look as correct if we just end the lace here. Make sure it goes all the way into the hole, covers up the most of the hole, and you may just have the shadow going around the outside. All right, from the side, it gets a little bit more difficult because now our X's are going at a three-dimensional angle versus looking at it just flat. So again, we can set up the holes. The front side should be easy because we're looking straight at it. The back side is going to be a little bit harder because they're going to have to figure out what the angle is. So again, use your pencil, measure the angle, make sure that each one has that same angle. Then when we do the X's from here, we're going to do basically the same thing. At first it's going to look flat, but what's going to happen is the way that it curves around the shoe is going to change. So rather than going straight across, it's going to curve over the top like so. And the center line is going to be slightly off from the middle. So you can see that this one is a little bit higher up here. But again, as it comes down into the hole, it goes from being wide down to being small and fitting into that hole. All right? So please be conscious of that as you go through. Make sure that whenever you overlap something, so if we're doing this part here, the thing that is overlapping on the top has to always be longer or wider than the thing it's overlapping. So don't just stop at this line, go a little bit past it, and that'll really look like this can fit underneath successfully because you have this little spot in between. All right?